What's going on, 49er faithful, 49er fan, 49er gang? This is your boy Niner Gang Podcast back in the building. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, man, let's get right on into it. Playoffs are here, man. We had already won our first game. We good. We done knocked out, the Sea Chickens. A lot of people were worried about us playing them 3 times, but we went ahead and we beat them. You know what I'm saying? Good game. Definitely the first half was a lot more competitive than the second half for the Seahawks, that is. So we did what we were supposed to do, man. And I have to say I can appreciate that when it comes to Brock Purdy and everything that he's done since he stepped in for Jimmy Garoppolo / Trey Lance. And this team is on a roll that I don't think anyone's ever seen before when it comes down to it because of how great Brock Purdy is playing, along with the fact that these people, are definitely looking at things from a different standpoint as far as the national media and whatnot. They're always, talking about him and he's Mr. Irrelevant. He's this, he's that. Then some people say he's Mr. Relevant because of the fact that he's been, playing as well as he's been playing since he started. It's just awesome that it allows you to see exactly who he is and what he brings to the table. And it makes other defenses respect his game. And I can appreciate that just because, initially you think last pick of the draft, 7th round rookie, we ain't worried about that. It's going to be a cakewalk. We can just go ahead and do whatever we need to do. We don't have to worry about, a young rookie that's going to come in and do anything because we got this. You know what I'm saying? Everything works out well. So then you get to see the kid get on the field and play, and you're like, oh, okay, my bad. I probably shouldn't have said all that. I didn't think that was going to happen. Maybe I should have been just a little bit smarter. All kinds of things go on. What's going on, Niner Cali boy? What's good, Roy boy? So, Purdy out there looking pretty good. You know what I'm saying? He's looking real good right now. I can appreciate everything that he's brought to this team. The run game is on top. The pass game looks great. Defense is solid and stellar. You know what I'm saying? We're doing what we're supposed to do. No, I don't put any stock in that, man. And to be honest with you, just the situation with Trey, I'm gonna tell you the simplest thing I can say is it's unfortunate. And the reason that I state that is because it's a situation where Trey Lance wound up in the worst situation he could possibly be in. You come into the season thinking, all right, cool. It's been solidified. This is my team. Everything works out great. I'm the starter, unquestioned. Everyone knows that. Jimmy's gone. Then the next thing you know, Jimmy's still here and he's staying. Now I got to look over my shoulder at this motherfucker. And then you go into the game, you're like, all right, lost my first game. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Took a quick L. Not going to be upset. I'm good. What's going on, Carcass? Nah, man, it's all good. It's all good, bro. Don't even stress it. So you think about it like, all right, cool. I lost my first game. It was wet. It was monsoon, whatever. So you move forward, right? And then the next thing you know, you come in and you say to yourself, all right, man, I'm good. I think I'm going to be straight. Let me go ahead and, play this next game. Then you go run, destroy your ankle. So you're done and you're out. No way you're coming back this season. You got to start fresh next season. So then they say, okay, Jimmy's in the game. And the first thing that if I'm Trey Lance, the first thing I do is I get pissed off because magically when Jimmy comes in the game, everybody and their mama want to throw. But when I'm in the game, y'all want to run the ball like it's nobody's business, including with me, your starting quarterback, who has a tendency to want to take on a blocker rather than avoid one. If you look at his college tape, Trey Lance wasn't sliding. I mean, the man said it literally on the podium. I've never slid until I got to the NFL. So when you think about it, you're like, damn, all right. So Jimmy gets in, he starts throwing, team doesn't look so good. I think we were 3-4, 3-5, something like that after the Chiefs whooped our ass. And then the CMC trade happens right at that game with the Chiefs. He gets in for a couple of, meaningless plays, little stuff here and there. So you're like, all right, cool. Next thing you know, Jimmy tries to go out and do more than, he was supposed to, goes down. Same situation with Jimmy back in 2018 when he thought he was a damn running back spinning around towards ACL and he was out for the year. So you fast forward, you go, okay, Jimmy's gone. So, this is the Miami game by now. And we're looking and going, shit, we got to put a 7th-round rookie, Mr. Irrelevant, in the game? Oh, fuck. I'm pretty sure a lot of Niners fans' hearts sunk, stomachs just got upset, everything, all kinds of emotions and feelings. But then the kid showed up and showed out. And he did it again and again and again. He's just been consistent the whole time. He's never changed. So it pains me when, first off, you see people out there in the stands that have we want Jimmy signs and nobody wants Trey Lance to start. So you kind of feel, a little alienated by the fan base to an extent because there's still a bunch of fans out there that want Jimmy Garoppolo on the field. For what, I don't know. He never does, enough in the playoffs. He's always definitely well below, anything subpar by any stretch of the imagination. 4 TDs, 6 interceptions, and 100-something yards a game in 6 playoff games. Yeah, bro, that don't say 6 and that don't say 4 and 2. That says you're losing. So either way, long story short for Trey, if this kid wins the Super Bowl, man, you can kiss your job goodbye. And Kyle's going to do the same thing he always does. He's going to omit. He's never going to tell you the truth. They're going to come in and say straight up, very simply, hey, Kyle, who's your starter? You have Trey Lance. You invested a lot in him in the off, a couple years ago. We know, he didn't really get a chance to play, but that was the plan the first year. The second year, you hand over the reins. He gets hurt. You still have, they're going to go through the whole scenario. And you know what Kyle's going to do? Well, I don't know if a mosquito is going to bite me tomorrow and I get malaria and possibly die. He going to say some stupid shit like that because that's what he does. I'll never forget that comment. What's up, Throwback? What's going on, Bebop? I'll never forget that comment, man. What's going on, 49 Chanel? We don't know if we're going to be alive tomorrow. Bro, answer the fucking question. I get that you want to play chess, not checkers, and you want to hold certain things close to the vest, all that good stuff. But at some point, bro, there's certain things that you need to be able to stand firm on and you want to be comfortable with rather than dicking around on whether this person is or isn't the guy. Me personally, I feel like your starting quarterback, yes, you should know who the fuck your starting quarterback. What's up, Crazy Juice? You should know your starting quarterback is at all times. To be able to say that with every bit of yourself and be confident in it. Not, I'm not sure what's going to happen tomorrow. So I don't know. It might be Jimmy. It might be Brock. It might be Trey. Hell, the Water Boy might start tomorrow. No, you should be able to come out confidently and say, hey, my quarterback is Brock Purdy. That's the guy. He won us a Super Bowl. This job is his to lose, or there's going to be a competition. Or right now at this point, we aren't focused on that. We're going to enjoy this win and enjoy the ride. And until about mid-April, I'm just living off the Super Bowl vibes. Talk to y'all then. Something like that. But you don't want to continually sit up there and act like you can't answer a simple question about something that you should definitely have full working knowledge of and know. You do not ever want your quarterback going out there feeling like, well, I don't know if it's my job or not. And then at the same time, yes, you can keep the locker room informed, but we as fans want to make sure we know. It's not wrong of us as fans to want a definitive answer from a head coach on something so significant to the team. That's how you have to think about it. Me personally, if I'm talking about my quarterback, if I have a true competition, I'll go out there as a head coach and say there's a competition. Who's going to win, who's going to lose, that's determined by the players and what they do and how they execute. And when I have a winner, I'll let you know. But as of right now, that's all you get. And do something like that. That's the smart part. You know what I mean? So for Trey and his situation, man, it just kid's got a rough road ahead of him, man, because technically speaking, everyone says, well, you shouldn't lose your job to injury. That's a fact. But in that same vein, How you gonna lose a job you never really took over? Think about it. Trey was in and out during his first season. You know what I'm saying? He played versus Arizona. He played versus Houston. And if he didn't win versus Houston, we don't get into the playoffs. But on top of that, you're not the full-time guy. You come into the next season knowing you're going to be the full-time guy. We're ready. As fans, we're saying we're ready for the growing pains. We're ready for the ups and downs, the ins and outs. But I don't believe that we're going to not make the playoffs. So that came to pass, just unfortunately not with Lance. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope his health gets better. I know he did have some stuff removed, I guess, as far as some parts they put into his foot to keep it together because it was irritating things. So that kind of set his progression back. I was kind of banking on him possibly even being ready for the Super Bowl because his injury happened so early and he had so much time. But now with that setback, he definitely you won't see Trey at all. But you won't see Jimmy here next year either. He's an unrestricted free agent with no franchise tag clause, and I'm happy. Go away. Go get paid elsewhere and leave us the fuck alone. We don't want you in the franchise. Now, we're going to take a small break. I got some things I got to do real quick. I'll be right back with you. All right. Had to take a small break. You know, got stuff cooking and things like that. You got to check on it now. Got to do double the duty. So, what's going on, Dave? I saw you slip in to the building. But here's the thing. You got two quarterbacks, both on rookie contracts. You don't have to pay either one, way ahead of time. The only difference is Brock Purdy winds up getting himself a little bit of leverage. If he wins the Super Bowl, he'd be the first rookie to do it. There'll be Disney. There'll be a whole bunch of fanfare surrounding his win. And to be honest with you, just from the way that the kid acts, I don't think he cares for all that. It just doesn't seem like that's his thing. He truthfully just seems like, yeah, I'm here and it's cool, but I'm not going to stress this. I feel like, I'm out there doing my job, trying to make sure I get this team to as many wins as possible. We're trying to get to a Super Bowl. We're doing what we're supposed to do. And that's basically it. I don't really need all the fanfare and all that other stuff. Like, it's not to say that he doesn't care for it, but his mindset, the importance for him is Super Bowl, winning games, going out there being the best quarterback he can be, not leaving anything on the field. All those things come into play, and that's where his mind is at. So I can appreciate it, from such a young kid. And once again, y'all, and I know people look at me and they know I don't like Jimmy Garoppolo, but all I tell you is facts. I don't sit up here and lie about the person. At the end of the day, Jimmy doesn't have that. He doesn't have that type of leadership. Everyone said he was a great leader in the locker room. Here's the issue. Didn't see it on the field. Never saw it at the podium. So as a fan, how do you expect me? All I have to go on is your word. You're basically telling me he's a great leader in the locker room. That's fantastic. Show the shit on the fucking field. Show me something I haven't seen. Give me a reason to say that, Jimmy Garoppolo is a true leader. Because when Trey Lance could get up there, a rookie, and take responsibility for the game when they lose, and you can't, that's questionable. When they win, it's all about the team. Like, the kid's like media ready and he's set up for success, but how is it that you can't do that? So that to me is suspect. And nobody can dispute that. I mean, hell, Julian Edelman was on I Am Athlete and basically called him a bitch. So I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to keep talking about 10 and his situations and everything. We're here to talk about this game. This is the craziest game of all, man. This is a serious rivalry. This rivalry dates back to the fucking 70s and 80s and 90s. We ruled the 80s because we were the team in the 80s nobody wanted to face. The Cowboys ruled the 90s. They were one of the teams nobody wanted to face. But this rivalry goes back a long ways. And we are definitely, the team to beat as of right now. Everybody's afraid of us. I did see a couple of media guys picking the Cowboys, which, hey, it's fine. You can look at everything and tell yourself this is going to be great. Purdy scores. He's don't forget. Dion forget Purdy scores. He scored. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like when you look at the numbers, sheer numbers based off of it, his first playoff game was better than I think all of Jimmy's playoff career. The man threw for 332 yards. He had 11.1 yard average on the throw, so that's a first down every time he throws. He had 3 TDs. He only took 1 sack. 131.5 quarterback rating. That's fantastic. And he had a 4th touchdown rushing, so 4 TDs in the playoffs. So you literally equal Jimmy Garoppolo's full output for every playoff game he's ever played in one game. Sound good to me. I'm sorry. So you have to think about that. You have to be understanding to it, and let the numbers tell you the truth, tell you a story. Stats aren't everything. The eye test can help you see things that other people don't see, because sometimes you can look at a game and say, well, damn, man, this person didn't have a good game. But then you actually watch it and look and see what happened, and you understand why, or you understand the reason for that. Nami Asamoah had like one great year in the league or something like that, and he wound up getting paid by the Raiders and the Eagles or something to that effect. And what happened? Dude wound up, they looked up and they were like, oh, this guy actually isn't that dope. They stopped throwing to his side because they were afraid. And once they realized, we ain't got to be scared of this dude, he ain't nothing. It was like, oh, well, there you go. Floodgates are open. They went after Asamoah. They showed him to be a fake and a fraud. Now he's an actor. These things happen, man. These things happen. So Roy Boy says the 72 game made me a Dallas hater. I fucking hate that. Well, see, look, I wasn't around for that game. Okay, I was born in 81. I was literally born the first year we won our first Super Bowl, so I couldn't tell you. I technically only really got to enjoy 3 of them because I was more immersed. The second one that we won in the 80s, I didn't really – like I watched it, but I didn't really necessarily know what was going on. I just knew my team won, and I was happy. But those next 3, I definitely understood, and I definitely enjoyed all of them. So when you look at the postseason, think about it like this. Let's just compare postseason numbers just in general. So Dak Prescott, 305 yards in his game, 9.2 yard average, 4 TDs, took 1 sack. He had 143.3 rating. You know what I'm saying? Dak Prescott himself had his own rushing touchdown. So Dak actually wound up with 5 TDs instead of 4, which is cool. Let's see. June the Juice. People forget this way. This is a way different team than last year's team. Niners are 99% healthy too. This game won't be close, bro. 38-16 Niners. I appreciate that comment. Thank you for stopping in. Please hit the like and subscribe button. First time seeing you in the chat. Thank you for coming through. But yes, I have to agree with everything that, June the Juice said. It makes, June the Oos Juice. Oh, okay. So you're Polynesian in some way, and I appreciate that because I love Polynesian people. Great people. So that to me tells me that it's insane how these teams are just not understanding how ready this kid is. As far as Brock Purdy, the guy is ready. The bright lights don't scare him. He's out there. He just goes out there, plays his game. He's cool, calm, and collected. Or, for my guys out there, I appreciate that. June. For my guys out there in LA, that's from Bompton, he could be boo, bomb, and elected. Shout out YG. It's a different situation when it comes to these guys, man. Yeah, look at that, 35.5 points per game. Like everything went up when Brock Purdy came in. And it seemed like the offense just went to another level and the door just swung open wide and everybody came through. You had that stretch where Kittle had those, Kittle was having just game after game after game. Kittle's had his most output of the season with Brock Purdy at the helm. To top it all off, you've got everybody getting involved. BA's involved, Debo's involved. All these guys are definitely involved in the game. And you see it, when you look at the cast of receiving characters, look, he threw the ball to 7 different people. Debo, BA, Jennings, Kittle, Mitchell, McCaffrey, and Juice. So he threw the ball to 7 different people. He targeted, Debo wound up with the most, but his was mainly on that big run. So Debo had 6 catches for 133 yards, but the bulk of that 133, 74 of it came on that TD run. So, you take that 74 away and it's got about another 60 some odd yards, something in that range. But it's just a situation of him understanding, hey, I'm going to get out here and hit these guys, and everybody's doing what they need to do. BA, he dropped the TD, so that would have been another touchdown, and Brock would have literally wound up getting the same results as Dak. He would have had a 4th touchdown pass. He would have had a touchdown run, and it would have been 5. So it's definitely something to look into. And we're playing Dallas, and Dallas is a formidable talent, man. You got Tony Pollard, you've got Dalton Schultz, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Michael Gallup. They went and snatched T.Y. Hilton off the street. T.Y. ain't the same T.Y. he was when he was in Indy, but either way, you just don't want him having like a little resurgence or something. Yes, we are, Kenneth. We getting that dub tomorrow. Y'all give me just another small second. I'm gonna be right back. All right, ladies and gents, sorry about that little small chronic break. No, there was no chronic break. I'm just kidding. Just, got to make sure I keep the food going. You know what I'm saying? Got to get that breakfast rolling. It's the best meal and most important meal of the day. But I will say this, man. It's definitely a hard sell when it comes to this lighting is really destroying me right now. I think that's better. Cool. So it's basically a situation of looking at everything position by position. And for me, I know Cowboys fans feel the same way, but for me, I just don't see where they're better than us. If you got to look at the receiving and stuff like that, you got to look at CeeDee Lamb versus Ayuk. So CeeDee Lamb had 4 catches for 68 yards and 1 TD. So then you flip over and BA had 3 catches for 73 yards, no touchdowns. But then Debo had 1 catch. He had his 6 catches for that 133 and the touchdown. And then for them, their big guy was Dalton Schultz. He caught 7 out of 8 targets, 95 yards, and 2 TDs. I don't see him doing that against us, strictly because I feel like Jimmy Ward should be able to hold him down. Dalton Schultz he's no slouch, but he's no George Kittle. He's no Travis Kelce. So he's that sneaky guy that can catch you slipping if you sleep on him. But on top of that, Dalton Schultz doesn't, what's going on, Rocky Mountain Razorback? Dalton Schultz doesn't really scare anyone. You know what I'm saying? When you hear that name, you don't think, oh, wow, this is one of the top 5 tight ends in the game. You just think, oh, Dalton Schultz. Okay. So it's a little bit different. But for me, when I'm looking at the game, if I just go quarterbacks, you can make a case for Brock Purdy being better. The only reason I would ever give the Cowboys the leverage in that is because Dak has the experience, but experience don't mean shit if you ain't winning games, especially not in the playoffs. So Then you slide over to the running backs. They've got Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. We've got Jordan Mason, CMC, and Elijah Mitchell. You probably won't see much of Mason outside of special teams because they're going to use CMC mainly and Mitchell. Mitchell didn't really get going last game. He was pretty much stuffed on any and everything. So we're hoping that he can get things rolling in that direction. And the Cowboys run defense is ass. So we should be able to go ahead and run all over them as long as we get it established properly. And for me, like I said before, I want to see a mix of Elijah Mitchell and CMC. I don't want to see just CMC. Don't get me wrong. I love him. I love what he brings to the table, everything. I just don't want to wear him out. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to wear him out and overuse him. And then next thing you know, everybody is sitting there tripping out. It's just it's a lot. And you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you're able to give him, you know what I'm saying, a rest. Let Eli get in there, man. When you're running, we all have said this. A lot of content creators have said this and agree. When you're running between the tackles, you probably want to use Elijah Mitchell. When you're running to the outside or stretch zone, or you got a guy that's going to be a decoy and then he turns into a receiver, you usually want CMC because he is that good. Jet sweep, exactly, throwback, jet sweep. And yes, Rocky Mountain Razorback is right. Do not run that QB power. No. We can't afford to go into the fucking playoffs because we can't afford to win this game and then wind up going into the next game with Josh Johnson as our starter. Because then we're gonna have to basically say, Josh, win the NFC Championship game, and oh, by the way, win us a Super Bowl too. At that point, that's when you'll start to see Kyle start panicking. And he's going to try to find a way to get Jimmy's dumbass back on the field. And that ain't going to do nothing but just make us lose the fucking game. And we're all going to be pissed off again. So at the end of the day, you just got to be smart about what you're running. But as far as the running backs go, I feel we definitely have the edge in that. Tony Pollard's their only viable back. Ezekiel Elliott is a shell of himself. And I don't think he ever really was himself, but maybe for about a year, maybe a year and a half. So I don't expect much from Zeke, and plus our run defense is stellar. We don't allow people to do that. They don't run on us. They just don't. You don't believe me? Look at the stats. Look at the numbers. It's right there in your face. So then when you come and slide over to the wide receivers, they have CeeDee Lamb. They have Michael Gallup. And that's what they have. As far as actual, just full-on wide receivers, we have Deebo Samuel. We have Brandon Ayuk. We have Juwan Jennings. We have Ray McCloud. We still have Danny Gray, who's been coming along in special teams. As far as our injury report, literally the only two people that are out are people that unfortunately are supposed to be out. It's Jimmy Garoppolo and Ambry Thomas. And I don't know what's going on with Ambry. I think it's a knee issue or something to that effect, but he is not playing. So everybody else is healthy, full go, no problems, no issues, no nothing. They still are rotating Javon Kinlaw in and out of the lineup, continuing to try to manage that knee issue that he has. And no, we're not getting a chance to see the full potential of it, but it seems like it's working well because he hasn't wound up on the injury report with any issues or problems. What's going on, CG Ruthless? So it's just a quick situation where when you look at it, they have their two guys, we have our two guys. And if you want to go ahead and say, okay, let's compare some numbers, let's do that then. Let's compare some numbers. So I'm going to go into the 2022 regular season and take a look at those numbers because I got both teams pulled up. So instead of the postseason, we're going to look at just regular season and figure out what exactly happened and where the numbers were. So when you look at it for the regular season, VA was our only 1,000-yard receiver. He had 1,015 yards, 8 TDs. He averaged 13 yards a catch. Deebo was 632 yards, and he only had 2 TDs receiving. And then when you look at Deebo in the run game, he had 42 carries for 232 yards, averaged 5.5 yards a carry. So he had 3 TDs rushing. So he had 5 TDs on the year. He played about 13 games. He missed a few because he had, I think he had a high ankle sprain. He had like a hamstring issue or something to that effect. So then you flip over to the Cowboys and you go ahead and take a look at their stuff. CeeDee Lamb, once again, he was their only 1,000-yard receiver. He had 1,359 yards. He had 9 TDs. He averaged 12.7 yards per catch. After that, the next receiver that is closest to him would have been Noah Brown. and he has 555 yards and 3 TDs. And then Michael Gallup, because Michael Gallup did miss a few games, 424 yards, 4 TDs. So when you look at it, and then if you switch over to their tight end, Dalton Schultz had 577 yards and 5 TDs during the season, while George Kittle had 765 yards, averaged 12.8 yards per catch, and he had 11 TDs. So it's his first double-digit TD season. So George Kittle scored more TDs than all of the receivers for Dallas individually, obviously. So that tells you right there that this is going to work out well for us, when you just look at the sheer numbers. So I do believe we have the better receiving core. We obviously have the better tight end. We definitely have the better offensive line. Right now, I know they're playing kind of musical chairs and shuffling some dudes around due to the fact that they have a few things going on. But I'm not going to stress that. Even sometimes when you move guys around, it may work out in your favor. This may be a situation where you're doing great things. So I still see that things are going to work out for them. I'm not going to put y'all on a 30-second thing. I'm just going to stop my camera for just a hot second. I'll be right back. All right. Food is done. You know what I'm saying? I make my own little skillet hash. I just throw in a red and a green bell pepper, half of an onion. Could be yellow, could be white onion. Doesn't make a difference. And I just literally cut up 4 pieces of bacon, throw them up in there, dice them all up, you know what I'm saying, with some potatoes. And there you go, man. Hearty, healthy breakfast. Good for you, good to you, tastes great. Seasonings are very simple, honestly. I just use a little bit of Lowry seasoning salt, some organic black pepper, and I use. I haven't even put eggs in there. I don't even eat eggs, man. The price of eggs has gone up drastically. Why? I have no fucking clue, but it is ridiculous. Like a box of eggs is like $6. I ain't paying for that shit. But either way, yeah, you just throw a little bit of have some chili lime seasoning and throw in there. Along with that, just mix it in, and you don't have to go heavy on it. Just go light on it. The flavors and everything of the food will mix together, and it works out well. So either way, when you're looking at it, as I was stating, the offensive line, we have the edge in that. When it comes to other things, we got this rolling in the right direction, and we're good, like we're solid. And then when you flip to the defensive side of the ball, now that's where the question marks start to come in. So I had a Cowboy fan give me a bunch of shit about how other people on his team had, lots of sacks, and they didn't have just one guy doing everything. So let's take a look at their sack numbers. The leading sack guy, obviously, is Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons technically is a linebacker, so we're not going to consider him amongst the members of the defensive line. So let's take a look at actual defensive linemen. Demarcus Lawrence has 6. We're just going to say Osa. Osa has 4. Dorrance Armstrong, he has 8.5. Dante Fowler Jr. has 6. And there's another guy named Sam Williams that has 4. So yeah, your line has some good talent, and they definitely are putting up some numbers. I don't consider Micah Parsons a part of that defensive line, so I'm not going to give his sacks credit. So you didn't have anybody in double-digit sacks. At least we had one guy in double-digit sacks by looking at the numbers on the season. We had Nick Bosa with 18.5 sacks. The next guy right behind him with 4.5 is Charles Omenihu. And then after that, just the sacks are kind of sprinkled around. If you're looking at the defensive line, just in general, Samson Ebukam had 5. Ridgeway had 1, and he's already gone. So Kevin Gibbons has 2. Drake Jackson had 3. Kerry Hyder has 1. Jordan Willis has 2. So, as far as the defensive line and sacks, we both have a guy who led the team, and we both have a guy, we both have some guys who come in and who are serviceable and get those sacks. And that's exactly what you want. You want your defensive line to be a whole, but the difference is we ourselves have a a rotation that allows us to not miss a step. Like when our rotation changes, when our guys go in or out, we just continually keep pressure on the quarterback and we keep doing the things we need to do. Now, Dak is a bit of a mobile quarterback and he can hurt you with his legs. You have to be very mindful of that. And the 49ers struggle with those types of QBs. So to neutralize that, you should keep a spy on him. And I know that it's not DeMeco's wheelhouse to necessarily keep a spy on a quarterback. You know, him and Saleh are very, very stout in believing that defense can win the game as long as you're right with your techniques and you're in the right spot. But every now and then, man, you got to switch it up. Sometimes you got to say, you know what, fuck it. This guy is definitely a viable threat running. I'm going to make sure somebody knows if he gets out of the pocket, your job is strictly to find him and get to him as quick as you can. So maybe we see a spy on Dak. Maybe we don't, depending on how much he runs. To top it all off, you know, like I said, I feel like you got, when it comes to defensive line, I think our line and our rotation is better than what they have to offer. When you go to the linebackers, Micah Parsons is one of one. I'll give him that much credit. Micah Parsons is definitely one of one. That dude is a stellar linebacker. He has done some tremendous things since coming into the league. Shout out to my dog Mose Knows. If y'all ain't subscribed to Mose, y'all better get over there and hit that like and subscribe button for my man. He pointed out one thing that a lot of people didn't point out. So Micah Parsons has the nerve to get up to the podium and say he comes from a place where the bullies get bullied. Then Mose, being a guy from Pennsylvania, basically was like, bruh, you lived in one of the safest areas in fucking Pennsylvania. Like you had like one of the lowest crime rates ever, like over the last couple of years. Like he shut that shit down. So the thing is, don't fake the funk. Just say you were bullied on the field. That's all you got to say. But don't come out here and make it seem like you grew up hard living and it was tough and your neighborhood was rough and crazy. Like, bro, that's not the case. And it's not to glorify those types of neighborhoods, but they do help shape and mold you into a stronger person, you know, depending on how you react to what goes on in those neighborhoods. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I've said that many times, and I'm very proud of that. I grew up in the crack era. I grew up when gangbanging was very prominent. I've seen all this shit start, and, you know what I'm saying, I've seen it now. So it's different. I've watched the progression of the stuff. I know, you know, I've been around, I've had friends that have been, you know, gangbangers and been in jail and been shot, all that stuff. And none of that stuff is cool, you know what I'm saying? But when you're around that and you in those areas, you're in them environments, it teaches you how to move just a little bit different. You got to keep your head on the swivel. You got to be mindful of the people that are around you, all those things. So if you really, you know, look at it as a whole, yes, it can make you slightly paranoid, but at the same time, it's a good paranoid, not something where you're just thinking everything is happening to you and nothing's going on literally in your day. So to be honest, when you look at, you know, the linebackers, like I said, Micah Parsons is one of one. Leighton Vander Esch, great linebacker. But outside of that, I don't start hearing names. We got Azeez, we got Dre, we got Fred. Those three dudes right there can rival any linebacker group in the league. I stand on that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I love my linebackers. Those dudes are awesome. And if anybody thinks that they can go ahead and try to put anything up against my linebackers, you go right ahead. I'd like to see you try, because you will fail. Those guys are that dope, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Harrisburg is nothing, you know, from what Mose was saying. It's basically a very good area to live in. And that's not a negative thing. Like, here's the thing. Don't be upset or try to fake like you're something you're not. And then at the same time, don't be apologetic about having the luxury of not having to deal with that. Most of us that grew up in the hood honestly would have loved to have lived that life. You know what I'm saying? If you're in an upper middle class area, it's quiet, you don't really deal with a lot, you know, life wasn't rough, say that and own that and be happy about it. Nobody wants to live a hard life. Nobody wants to go through all that. You know what I'm saying? I said this before, I'll say it again. I never in my life bought a pair of Air Jordans for one reason. Because the era I come from, those could get your ass whooped or you could get shot behind them. That's why I never in my life bought a pair of Jordans. I love the shoes. They were nice. Number one, I was broke. You know what I'm saying? We was raised on food stamps and welfare. We had money for Jordans. And then at the same time, because of watching so many people get beat up or shot or threatened, in any way, shape, or form just for some fucking kicks. I wasn't doing that, man. I wasn't doing that. See, Rocky Mountain Razorback says it right there. My brother had to walk home barefoot after them dudes they'll snatch them shits. They don't give a fuck. And sometimes it's not even you getting jumped. It's just the fact that there's more of them than there is of you, and you make a business decision. I'm not about to fight these motherfuckers over these goddamn shoes. Now, are your parents possibly going to be mad when you get home? Yes. But at the end of the day, it's like there was 6 of them and 1 of me. So what was I supposed to do? Outside of come home lumped up, beat up, and scared? It is what it is. But in this game, our linebackers are better than their linebackers. I'm sorry. I trust Dre Greenlaw and Azeez Al-Shaair more than I trust Leighton Vander Esch. Be mad at me if you want. I don't care. I think that's actually true. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And then there you go. Grew up late 80s, 90s in a bad neighborhood, made me who I am. It does build character. And it's not to say that you have to be in that area for it to build character. You just have to be smart and understand how to move in your own area. And you have to have good people around you to teach you the rules and what to do, what not to do. And at the same time, you just learn just being being out there in life. It's definitely, definitely the situation. CJ says he got his Jordans, but he could pay for them. Exactly. Because, you got to think about it, just on the subject of that real quick. You know how many parents work doubles and overtime and stuff like that just to get those shoes because they were coveted so fucking much? It was a lot of work being put in, man, and it is what it is. But when you go ahead and you shift out to the safeties and the defensive backs, I feel like our safeties and defensive backs are better than theirs. Trayvon Diggs is a formidable talent. If he jumps around at the right time, you can kiss goodbye. The guy is definitely dope at making sure he tries to pick the ball off. But the issue is there's too many times where he jumps around and it doesn't pan out. And if you get behind him and get going, you can beat him out. He doesn't have that foot speed to keep up with you. I think BA could outrun him. Definitely Debo could. I know CMC, maybe not. He doesn't have that home run speed, but it's all gravy. So when you look at it, just for interceptions, Malik Hooker has 3. Trayvon Diggs only had 3 on the year. Their leading interception guy was Deron Bland. So that guy had 5. Everyone else, outside of Malik Hooker and Trayvon Diggs, nobody else really had anything. And then when you flip over to us and you look at the interceptions, Fred Warner has 1, Drake Greenlaw has 1. But if you're looking at the safeties, Huff had 4. Tayshaun Gibson has 5. Jimmy Ward had 3 during the season, which is his highest output of his whole career. But, Dub don't – I still call him Dub every now and then, but he's wearing number 1. Dub doesn't really necessarily get interceptions. It's just not his thing. It's not who he is. We all understand it as 49er fans. We love it. We deal with it, and just you move on. He's probably going to go wherever D'Amico goes next year anyway, because D'Amico's going to get a head coaching job. But when you look at the safeties versus and DBs versus what they have, honestly, I just feel like we're better. And we are better in every phase of the game. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of Cowboy fans out there that state that they're better. That's fine. That's your opinion. I have mine. But I'm going to come at you with facts, numbers, and on top of that, I'm going to come at you with the eye test. Nobody is talking about your safeties. Malik Hooker was dope when he was coming out of college. I really wanted him, but hey, he spent his time in Sydney and now he's hanging out in Dallas. Kind of is what it is. Trayvon Diggs, everybody knows he's probably a top 10 corner in the league. We'll give him that much. You know what I'm saying? But Mooney's looked pretty good. Like I said, our main go-getters are Huff and Gipp, but that's okay. And I'm not mad at that at all. We're banking on the pressure that our defensive line creates for your quarterback to make a bad decision and us to be able to jump the route or to be able to, catch those dead ducks that are in the air. Hell, Drake Jackson's interception was literally just in the air, and he was sitting on the sidelines. He said it's like a gift that dropped from heaven, and he caught it, and that was cool. So that works out well, and I know he's inactive, and it hurts my heart. I would really love to see Drake Jackson be on the field making plays. I think he would be better than Kerry Hyder. What's going on, No Border? But it just, to me, I think they want to go with the veteran leadership and whatnot and all the other crap. But to me personally, you need to put Drake Jackson on the field, allow that guy to get out there and wreak havoc on the quarterback. Plus, with his speed, he could possibly actually keep up with Dak. and catch him a lot faster if he tries to set that edge. You know what I'm saying? Kerry Hyder, God love him. He ain't getting out there doing that. That's nothing about to happen. That get the edge on Kerry, he go. He get the edge on Drake. He might have a step or two, but Drake don't catch him. So it's just understanding that. And then when you look at, special teams, our kicker is not missing 4 straight field goals, bro. It's not happening. So I was watching Jesse and Last Second Sports. Shout out to them, man. They do great work over there. Him and Rad, Rad is a Lions fan, and he had the end of his season. The end of his season was fantastic. The Lions have great momentum going into next year, and I think they're going to be a formidable team in that NFC North. People are going to stop sleeping on them, and it's going to be a fucking problem. But either way, Jesse was interviewing a Cowboys fan. He does this thing called Behind Enemy Lines when he gets somebody on. Said he reached out to a ton of Cowboy content creators. Nobody wanted to smoke, but he did find a Cowboy content creator that did want to smoke. She came on and she repped for them Cowboys like she was supposed to. I appreciate her and I agree, and I understand it. She did state that, she was wondering if it was a situation of it being grass rather than turf, because there's turf in Dallas and there's grass in all those places that he was missing these field goals. So she's trying to see if there's some kind of a trend that exists with that. But I mean, hell, grass, turf, I don't give a fuck. You got to still make them field goals because you're leaving the door wide open. That extra point does matter. Believe me. You don't believe me? Think about that one field goal. I'm sorry, those are extra points. I don't think he missed any field goals. But think about that one extra point that you miss can be a determining factor in a playoff game. And this is one and done. There are no more games after this. If you lose, you go home. You go home until the next season, and that's that. So you don't want to have that as a situation. But in this instance here, what I will tell you is we obviously have the better kicker. We have the better special teams guys, and we do more. You know what I'm saying? Ray McLeod has been looking great. He's been picking his spots. He understands when to run, when not to run. So I think that's definitely great. And to be honest with you, man, when I look at this game, I just don't see ways that we can lose unless we beat ourselves. If we can't get the run game established, we should be able to throw the ball with no problems. Brock Purdy has been looking very good in the passing game. And last game, basically, he was the one who won it for us. That's more than I can say for, the previous quarterback that we had in the playoffs. He never won us a playoff game. That's neither here nor there. But I think that, honestly, it's going to be a great game. And, it's a rivalry. I'm definitely going to go to the bar and watch this one because it's going to get insane. And, I don't want my wife kicking me out of the house, as far as that goes. So I'll just go to the bar well ahead of time, hang out with the fellas and hang out with the AZ Niner Empire. Shout out to them. They doing their thing. Give me 1 second really quick because I got to show y'all something. All right. Sorry about that. Had to grab my phone. So if y'all are in the area, man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can see that real quick. If y'all are in the Phoenix area and y'all are looking to get some great food, great vegan food, man, go ahead and head over to, what I'm saying? It's going to be over here at downtown Phoenix. It's off First Street and Roosevelt. It's like a vegan brunch. And basically you go over there and you look for 110 and 110 only, Naughty Vegan. Best vegan food that you'll have in Arizona. It's nothing greater than that. So definitely, First and Roosevelt in Phoenix, Arizona. If you're out there in that way, hey, what's going on, Edgar? If you go in there and you look at it, man, you're going to love the food. You just try it out, man. Believe me, you'll never know that it's vegan. And then at the same time, you have to think about it like this. It's good for you. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to stress all that. And everything works out well for you. So you get to eat great food. It's clean. It's healthy. If you're one of those people who loves animals, you get to save an animal by not eating them. So these things work out well. Definitely go ahead and check out Naughty Vegan in Phoenix, First and Roosevelt. They'll be out there from 10 to 2. So definitely go down, definitely support, get you some great food, man. That's my sister's business. It's a black-owned business, so it's your chance to support a black-owned business, along with supporting, what I'm saying, my sister and helping her grow. The pop-ups always work out well. They always sell out. My suggestion, get there early, because if you don't, food will go and you'll get there and they're going to be like, damn, we got to get up out of here. So I appreciate everybody for coming in and hanging out with me, man. Thank you so much. I definitely see us winning this game tomorrow. I did say 34-14. So that's about a 20 point beat down. And I do see us putting up at no less than a 30 burger. I don't really do predictions very often, but it's not a big deal. I think this is a great game. It's a great rivalry. Hopefully, if you have a friend that's a Cowboy fan, you and that friend can get together and talk shit to each other and have a good time. You guys can make your crazy bets and stuff like that and do whatever you need to do, and you should be good to go. But I honestly don't think that there is any way that we lose this game. I believe that we win in every way, shape, and form. And I believe that anybody that thinks that we don't is out of their mind. Cowboy fans get very delusional. But, the number one reason, I'm not going to lie to you, the number one reason that I want to beat them so bad is just to enjoy and revel in the moments that Stephen A. Smith has. Because he gives you, oh my God, he gives you everything when the Cowboys lose. He comes in, he's got the Cowboy, the 10-gallon hat on, he's got the cigar, and he walks in, he goes, did you see? Did you see? I was waiting on it. And what is a lot of people doing right now? I smell it, Michael Irvin, I smell a Cowboys Super Bowl. Rah, 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 rah. Okay, Michael Irvin, we get you. We understand it. That's what you think is going to happen, but it's not going to happen. But before I go, man, I'm sorry, bro. We have some awesome Niner fans that are celebrities. There's a young man by the name of Locksmith. I love this dude. If you don't know who Locksmith is, you are sleeping. If you like bar gods, if you like guys that can flip bars, Locksmith is your dude. Oh my God, this dude is flat out amazing. So he does this thing on IG every week when we go out there and just smash people. So I'm gonna play his thing from IG. This shit's hard.
Seattle fans need to stop fronting. Turn the Cinderella season back to a pumpkin. DK had the best game of his life. And guess what? It was all for nothing. So I don't want to hear about excuses. I don't want to hear about the picks that you drafted. We got the most weapons in the league, and y'all was target practice. Now we aiming at Dallas. On to the next round. Fred with the chest pound. On many Q's and on many you, better check down. Demo stepping up with the clamp stops. Burn CD, turn receivers to lamb chops. Can't stop this pass rushes like a mallet. When it gets physical, we gon' watch Michael Gallup. Your DC is the real joke. The only queen we respect is the one from Fillmore. Rip you apart, son, that's when the hype stops. When you see MC, guaranteed it's a mic drop. Jimmy ready for war, bring the best slot. Make that crumble as soon as we press Scott. Debo is unstoppable, Cowboys got a lot to prove. Name is in your essence, cause you still in adolescence. You stuck between a Brock and a hard stunt. Tell Mike McCarthy, good luck with the job hunt. Cause you'll be unemployed next season. We on a war path for 6, that's the reason.
Bro. That is insanity, bro. Hey, man, I'm telling y'all right now, this is why I like Locksmith. And this is why I love having celebrities that are fans. If y'all didn't catch Monday Night Raw this past night, what did you see Bailey walking out rocking? A George Kittle jersey, because she's a Niner fan. The Usos, Niner fans. Roman Reigns, there are Niner fans. Like, these are the guys that we have, bro. Like, we have some serious celebrities. We all know 40 at the game. And here's the thing. 40 has said this before, because a lot of people try to debunk the theory that 40 is a true 49er fan. 40 is one of those people where he reps the Bay as long as it's not against the Niners. That's literally what he does. So, he had a couple of videos where he had some Raider gear on and stuff like that. But he is Kelt's my guy, man. Hey, it's gonna be crazy tonight. We're gonna get it popping. We're gonna definitely get it popping. What's going on, Rich? Stay Hungry Entertainment. Cowboys gonna win by 2 touchdowns. Okay, I like your prediction. That's great. I want you to keep that same energy, and when y'all lose, come on back. Come on back. Because if you don't win by 2 touchdowns, and if you do win by 2 touchdowns, come on back. I want you to be able to come back and say what's up to me, you know what I'm saying, and tell me. I don't mind the smoke. I don't mind somebody talking shit. You know what I'm saying? I like the banter. And it's all in good fun. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them people who gonna start talk shit and then we about to start fighting. I don't do all that, man. I'm 41, man. I ain't got time for that shit. But it's a cool thing when you have, you know what I'm saying, these situations, and you just keeping a close eye on things. So I will let you know. Give me just a sec real quick. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the chat. I'll give y'all a chance to come through and hang out with your boy. Definitely go ahead and hit that link. If we get too many people in here, then what I'll do is I'll start to give you a little bit of a time limit. But if you don't, you know, if the time limit isn't there, and it's only because there's certain people that, you know, may come in and just hang out, and some people do and don't like to necessarily speak. But that's the link in the chat. I got a few more minutes, man. Definitely, if y'all want to come in and hang out with your boy, y'all got something y'all want to say, something you want to get off your chest, a hot take, you know, a crazy prediction. Shout out to my boy Rich, Kelts Chronicles. He was the one who said, you know, we should start doing more of these like outrageous like types of things. You know what I'm saying? Like an outrageous thing. So when I was on his show, I told him that I would be, that I would love to have like 5 interceptions and points scored off of each one of them, and 7, not 3. So, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely a different situation. So I know it's early in the morning. A lot of people, depending on if you're on the West Coast, are just getting up out of bed, wiping the crust out your eyes and everything like that. So I'll give it a few minutes. If y'all have, you know, Cowboys fan, Stay Hungry Entertainment. If you would like to come on, my platform is open. The link is in the chat. I have no issues, no quarrels, no qualms. I like a little back and forth banter. It's all good. Hey, B-Bob Jones said it best. R.I.P. Jason Peters. So it's a little different. You know what I'm saying? Cowboys fans are some of the best people in the world to definitely go ahead and laugh with, man, because they literally every year it's, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're headed there. You guys have no idea. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay. And let's see. Niners have been to the Super Bowl twice since our last Super Bowl appearance, and the Cowboys have been where? No, we lost. Yes, we lost. And I know that's what people are going to say. Hey, you got there, but you didn't win it. But we at least got there. You haven't sniffed a NFC Championship game and/or even a playoff win since just now. We shut you down last year. Year before, the last time you were in the playoffs before that, Mike McCarthy was an idiot and didn't know how to manage time properly and needed to, the game last year, Dak Prescott did, but Mike McCarthy didn't know how to manage time properly against the Green Bay Packers. And what happened? You lost the game. So it kind of is what it is. But I'm sorry, I just don't see us losing. There's just no way, no how, and if anybody disagrees, if anybody has something else that they think, by all means, once again, the link is in the chat. Tap that button. You come right on. You get backstage. I will gladly bring you through, let you say your piece, let you get things off, and that's cool. But I think I got about like a minute left, and then I'm going to get up and, get my day rolling and whatnot. I know y'all see me drinking water, but I am an avid tea drinker. Love tea. Don't drink coffee. Just tried it before. It just doesn't work out. But yeah, the 49ers, man, we coming to smash this game, bro. I really just feel like this is that game where we're going to go in, and it's going to be the same way about the Seahawks. We hate these boys. We hate them. We hate them with a passion. You know what I'm saying? And they had the 49ers, from what I saw, George Kittle did an interview, and they had the 49ers watch all of the past like Cowboy 49er games and start to understand the rivalry and dig deep. I'm talking like way back from the 70s and 80s and 90s up to now, everything. So they wanted them to make sure that the Cowboys do own us. as far as like the overall record when we're facing them. But at the end of the day, in this era, in this time, we're better than them. And we've beat them and we've shut them down and sent them home. So they're going to come to us and wind up playing us. And it's going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? But looks like everybody's busy or possibly too tired or just getting up. So I'm not going to stretch it any longer. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate everybody that comes into the chat. Anybody new who subscribed, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, hit that like and subscribe button. Turn on the post notifications. I'll keep you up to date on everything San Francisco 49ers. In the offseason, I will definitely be doing Kevin Rocky about to Razorback. I will definitely be reporting on free agency and other things like that, the NFL. But thank y'all so much for hanging out with your boy early in the morning. Stay blessed, stay up, stay faithful. And victory shots tomorrow night, baby. Peace.